How is it going, everybody? Too Spooky here, and today I've got something pretty special for you. So I asked you guys back in my top 10 Logia Devil Fruits video if you would rather see the top 10 Zoan or top 10 paramecia Devil Fruits video first, and you guys chose the Zoans. Now before I was going to release this video, I made sure to ask you guys to get the Logia video to 1,000 likes, which we hit I think within the first week or two. So now I'm really going to test you guys. If you want to see the top 10 paramecia Devil Fruits, get this video to 3,500 likes. So if you want to see the next top 10 Devil Fruits video after this one, give this video a like right now so you don't forget later. Thanks guys. Anyways guys, today we're going to be counting down the top 10 Zoan Devil Fruits in one piece. Now before we get into the list, there's a few things that you should know. The first is that my pronunciation is awful, and I'm more than likely going to mispronounce some stuff. The second thing is that this list is not based specifically on strength or power, though strength does have a little bit to do with some of them. We are also looking at the overall ability or abilities of the fruit, how unique it is, and how useful it is or can be overall. Also, because Zoans are based on animals, we will be looking at certain characteristics or advantages and disadvantages of those specific animals to help add some substance and argument to the list. And in addition to this, we are not only focusing on the Devil Fruits, but also the Devil Fruits user, because as all of you know, the user of the Devil Fruit plays a very important role in how the fruit is used and the powers that come along with it. So just keep that in mind as well. Now the final thing is that this list will be focusing on the top 10 Zoan Devil Fruits. And with that being said, we will be focusing only on Zoan and not mythical or ancient Zoans. So I'm sorry to Jack and Marco the Phoenix, but they, and other ancient or mythical Zoans, will be on a different list for a different day. Although, carnivorous Zoans will be included on this list because they are still animals. Another quick snippet of information you should be aware of is the 3 transformations of a Zoan user. There is the human form, which is the user's natural form, the human beast form, which is a mixture of both human and the Zoan animal or creature, and the beast form, which is a full transformation into the Zoan animal or creature. Now we're quickly going to go over the Devil Fruit weaknesses. The user of the Devil Fruit cannot swim after consuming the Devil Fruit and will drown. They also fall into a very weakened state while in seawater. Sea Prism Stone has the same effects on a Devil Fruit user as seawater, and will weaken them and cancel out their Devil Fruit powers while in contact. Some Devil Fruits have a natural weakness, such as fire, being weak to water. And also, some Devil Fruits, specifically Logia, are very susceptible to hockey attacks. Now that you know the weaknesses, let's get into the list. Number 10. The Mogu Mogu no Mi, otherwise known as the Mole Mole Fruit. This Devil Fruit was consumed by Miss Merry Christmas. This fruit allows the user to transform into a mole. The user of this fruit is able to move underground as if they were swimming in a swimming pool. They are also able to attack their enemies with mole claws the size of bananas. The fruit is powerful enough to where the user will just simply smash through any stone structures in their way without losing any speed while they are traveling underground. As seen in Alabasta, the user can also work with another individual or individuals for increased attack power with the tunnels. However, say an explosion were to be sent in the tunnels while the user is still inside, it would be detrimental, and because of this, the tunnels can also be a strong weakness. One of her signature attacks is where she grabs the enemy by the ankles and tunnels rapidly underground, dragging her enemy above the surface with her. This can be used to drive them into a wall, for instance, or dig them into the ground, trapping them. Now I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this fruit, but to put things simply, the Mole Mole fruit is both very useful, but has a pretty big weakness. So my biggest reason for putting her at number 10 is that a mole is a very unique creature in the fact that it has huge claws, and the ability to hide in the ground and use the ground to its advantage. That being said, go grab a banana from your kitchen. Or the one in your pants. Though, for a more accurate measurement, you guys should probably just go grab one from your kitchen. But look at how big a fucking banana is when compared to a sharp claw. Those things will tear through you like you are nothing. So one of my big reasons for adding her to the list is because of her gigantic weapons on her hand. Now these can also be used to tunnel into the ground, which this could be used for so many different things, such as sneaking up on your opponent, pulling them into the ground so they can't move, resurfacing, and stabbing them in the head with your fucking banana razors, among many other offensive capabilities this fruit has. However, digging all these holes into the ground can lead to a huge weakness if explosives, fire, gas, or even water were filtered through the holes in the ground, leading to defeat or massive damages. Just imagine if Aka Anu came up and just drained some magma into those holes. RIP Miss Merry Christmas. So basically the reason Miss Merry Christmas is on this list is because of her offensive potential, and the reason she is so low is because of her potential huge weakness. Number 9. The Kame Kame no Mi, otherwise known as the Turtle Fruit. This devil fruit was consumed by Pekoms. This fruit allows the user to transform into a turtle. The main strength of this fruit is the ability to transform into a turtle, which forms a giant protective shell that is as hard as diamond. The shell can guard against things such as bullets and even collapsing buildings without any signs of damage. This fruit has only been shown scarcely, so not a whole lot is known about its other strengths or weaknesses. The main reason I placed this fruit on the list is because of its amazing defensive capabilities. A shell that is hard as diamond means Pekoms is basically untouchable, though I cannot think of very many offensive uses for this fruit. The only thing that would make sense to me would be if Pekoms could use some sort of snapping turtle-like ability, where he could bite the victim with great force and really clamp down. Either that or someone could use him as like a battering ram or a shield or something. Now the reason I put Pekoms at number 9 is because even though his fruit is great defensively, there is really no use or advantage offensively. On top of that, there's not a lot of information about it in general. Also, I did some thinking, and the defensive aspect may not even be as great as we think. For instance, we know that his shell is hard as diamond. Well, in that case, maybe Diamond Jozu would be strong enough to deal some damage to that shell because he's made of diamond. Also, when a turtle retreats into their shell, the openings are still open and vulnerable to attacks. So if the opponent was able to, say, find a way inside those openings, Pekoms would be doomed. Another thought I had was the fact that turtles and tortoise generally live for a very long time. So perhaps this fruit could give Pekoms some sort of extended time on his life. Though this is just speculation. I highly doubt that this is actually an ability. So overall, we place Pekoms at number 9 due to the fact that though his devil fruit is great defensively, there are still some ways around this defense, and there are little to no offensive capabilities. Number 8. The Ushi Ushi no Mi, model giraffe. Otherwise known as the Ox fruit, model giraffe. This fruit was consumed by Kaku. Now this fruit allows the user to transform into a giraffe. This fruit gives its user more strength and a longer reach in their hybrid form. Originally, the ability to turn into a giraffe was mocked due to the animal itself and Kaku's rather blocky half-giraffe form, respectively. This mockery, however, was soon put aside when Kaku demonstrated how effective and deadly he was in his half-giraffe form, with longer range and overall maneuvers. It has also been noted that the user of this fruit apparently has the unique weakness of having a long and very exposed neck, which an attacker could exploit. This weakness, however, is not fully exploited due to Kaku's maneuvers, and is instead made into a strength in several of Kaku's unique moves. See, the reason I would put Kaku above Pekoms and Miss Merry Christmas at first glance is for two key reasons. The first being that giraffes are much larger in comparison to moles and turtles. giving him a size advantage compared to them. Also, though we did not see this with the other previous users, Kaku was not a Devil Fruit user for a very long time. He was given his fruit and had to learn how to use it only several moments later. With such little time, he managed to take control of his powers, create new ones, and even help counteract his weakness. Now, the big reason Kaku is still so low on the list is because giraffes have one key weakness and strength, which is their long neck. This extra length around the neck can be a huge weakness since the neck is such a vulnerable place to begin with, but now with meters of extra length added. This can also be used as a great strength with the ability to use his neck as a weapon. For instance, though this is not shown, say Kaku could master hockey. He could simply infuse it with his neck and use it to smack people across the room. Basically, though giraffes are generally shown to be weak creatures, Kaku has managed to get right past that in such a short amount of time, even creating many different moves, such as using his neck as a spring to create sheer force. And though he has a great weakness, he still found a way to make it a power to be reckoned with. And I'm sure Kaku has only become stronger since the time skip, but until we see him again, he will remain down here at number 8. Number 7. The Hebe Hebe no Mi Model Anaconda, otherwise known as the Snake Fruit Model Anaconda. This devil fruit was consumed by Boa Sonia. This fruit allows the user to transform into an anaconda. The fruit's major strength is that along with their physical strength gained from their transformed forms, they gain a long versatile body that they can use like a real anaconda. However, the tail of this form can be tied to an object to limit their movement and leaving them vulnerable. With her long hybrid body gained with the fruit's power, she is capable of moving in snake-like patterns to both avoid and attack her opponents. She also uses hockey with the devil fruit powers. Santo Sonia also has the ability to form her hair into 7 snakes. Santo Sonia uses them along with her head like a hydra-like beast to attack an opponent. The fangs of these snakes are as strong as steel and are capable of crushing stone. There are also no known natural weaknesses for this fruit. Now, in addition to her giant snake and apparently Medusa-like abilities, we're going to look at what an actual anaconda is capable of. So anacondas are constrictors, which means they wrap themselves around their victim and squeeze the life out of them. Also, like every other snake, they can swallow small animals whole. However, since the anaconda is the largest snake in the world, we can assume with Santo Sonia's massive size that she could potentially swallow a person whole if she wanted to. And because of her massive size, she could easily squeeze someone to death with minimal effort. The reason she is at number 7 is because of her size, lack of natural weakness, snake abilities such as constriction and possibly human consumption, the ability to create Medusa with her hair, and use of hockey to avoid attacks. There are very few other Zoans that I feel could go one-on-one with a giant snake like her. For instance, Miss Merry Christmas could be swallowed whole or constricted easily in a matter of seconds. So because of this, she slithers in at number 7. Number 6. The Tori no Mi Model Falcon, otherwise known as the Bird Fruit Model Falcon. This devil fruit was consumed by Pell. This fruit allows the user to transform into a falcon. This fruit grants him the enhanced senses of a falcon, along with the advantage of having one of the only few devil fruits and the only known Zoan that allows flying. In his falcon form, he can carry other people on his back while flying. Also in this form, weight does not seem to be much of an issue, as he carried a massive bomb high into the air without showing any strain. Now some of you might say Pierre can fly, but this Zoan is a horse. He had flight capabilities before he ate his devil fruit, so he's not considered one of the ones that can fly. Pelt's devil fruit grants him increased strength and speed, as well as the ability to use his talons to slash through his opponents. His flight is also useful in both traveling and offensive purposes. He has been seen attacking with a pair of Gatling guns. making him resemble a fighter plane. Now I'm just going to say the fact that he can fly is enough to place him higher on the list than the previous few, especially if weight is not much of an issue. Not only does he have the ability to retreat to the skies for surveillance, transportation, or airborne attacks, but he can also use this ability to instantly kill his enemies. Say for instance he were to grab someone with his talons and fly straight up into the sky, then drop them from such a high height, they would simply become a puddle of blood and guts below. Also, just like Miss Merry Christmas, his claws or talons can be used to slash his opponents with ease. His fruit also gives him enhanced speed and strength. Now the reason I cannot place him higher is because of his weakness while in the air. While it is both an amazing advantage, it can also lead to a deadly disadvantage. If his wings were injured while airborne, he could also just become a pile of guts, if he was high enough. So because of his useful flying abilities, his power, his speed, and his weakness, Pell flies in at number 6. Number 5. The Inu Inu no Mi, Model Wolf. Otherwise known as the Dog Dog Fruit, Model Wolf. This devil fruit was consumed by Jabra. This fruit allows the user to transform into a wolf. The fruit's major strength, as demonstrated by Jabra, is that its user gains more physical strength in their hybrid form, and full wolf form, equivalent to that of a real wolf and more. Notably, carnivorous Zoan types such as Jabra are said to be especially vicious. The user is also granted with the additional weapons of claws and fangs, which can be used in devastating attacks and can greatly increase the potency of their normal fighting style techniques. Also, because he is part dog, he has a rivalry with cat-themed devil fruits. Now, Jabra is one of those devil fruit users you forget about, but yet he is very strong. He has all his normal fighting techniques that are enhanced with this devil fruit ability, and he has claws and fangs to rip his opponent to shreds. We've already discussed how claws can be useful, so I'll save you the time. And fangs fall into the same boat. Also, in Jabra's case, there is no unique weakness present other than the fact that he isn't a fan of cats. Overall, his strength is unmatched compared to some of the previous Zoans on this list. Yet, he just isn't quite as strong as some of the users above him. And because of that, he remains right in the middle of the list. At number 5. Number 4. The 4 Jailer's fruits, plus the new 5th Jailer. These fruits are currently unnamed. I grouped these 4 or 5 together because even though they are all different animals with different respective abilities, they are shown together with similar abilities, or abilities that are not shown or revealed for very long. However, something that these 4 or 5 have in common that the other users on this list do not, is that they have awakened their devil fruit, leading to a somewhat dim-witted, dumbfounded state of mind inside a giant form of their respective animal form. This awakening allows them enhanced and quicker recoveries from attacks, while also greatly enhancing their strength and attack power, along with their defensive abilities. Because they are awakened users, we can automatically assume that they have a great deal of superiority to others on this list, though we only know so much about each of them, and all 4 or 5 of them are extremely similar in their awakened form. With all this being said, they are still easily defeated by some of the stronger characters involved with the escape of Impel Down. So because of that, and because of the limited amount of information we have, I can only place the Jailers so high on this list. I'm basically going off of the fact that they have all awakened their devil fruits, and are very strong with even a new regenerative ability, though we still don't know a whole lot about them. And because of that, they rise to number 4. Number 3. The Hito Hito no Mi, otherwise known as the Human Fruit. This devil fruit's powers were consumed by Tony Chopper. This fruit allows the user to turn into a human, I suppose. By consuming this fruit, Chopper has been given human intelligence, allowing him to understand and communicate in human language. The fruit has also given Chopper the ability to understand concepts that a reindeer would not originally comprehend, such as medicine and language. It also allows him to transform into a human/reindeer hybrid form, The fruit is further strengthened by the use of the Rumble Ball, which is a drug that allows Chopper to access other forms of varying human and reindeer proportions. The Rumble Ball can also come with the consequences of the powers of the fruit and the user himself that can be quite disastrous. The main weakness of this fruit is that the forms it gives him do not outright resemble humans and are often mistaken for something else. An example is his human form being mistaken for a gorilla. This is what originally alienated Chopper from both deer and humans alike. However, despite this, one advantage of this is that Chopper can easily hide from enemies while in a form that they have not seen before. This fruit's ability is not effective for humans, as if one ate it, they will not gain any abilities, but all the weaknesses of a normal devil fruit user. So Chopper was pretty lucky that he got this one. Chopper can currently transform into 9 different forms: the Walk Point, Brain Point, Heavy Point, Jump Point, Arm Point, Guard Point, Kung Fu Point, Horn Point, and Monster Point. Now, a lot of people will not agree with Chopper being on this list, especially this high, and I really don't understand why, but it's whatever. The reason Chopper is on this list is because of his intellect, his attack power, and his defensive capabilities. For his intelligence, he is an animal, which would initially drastically limit his intelligence. But because of his fruit, he is able to become a doctor, which is a very impressive accomplishment because medicine is a very advanced skill. For his offensive purposes, he has many different forms, such as the Arm Point, Heavy Point, Kung Fu Point, and Horn Point. Each of these abilities give him some sort of offensive advantage, and each one can be used for different situations, giving him a major advantage for changing battle strategies. And for defensive abilities, he has the Guard Point and Jump Point. The Jump Point allows him to jump extremely high and fast to avoid attacks, and the Guard Point allows him to protect himself from most attacks, including the Kraken's tentacle. And on top of all of this, he has his Monster Point, which is one of the most powerful forces to be reckoned with. For instance, when he first achieved this form, he leveled a whole village. In this form, he is virtually impossible to injure, and he can even take on powerful enemies with ease, such as members of CP9. And now, after the time skip, he can even remain in a conscious state of mind while in this form, granting him one of the best offensive and defensive abilities. Also, like the jailers we previously talked about, they were in a sort of dumbfounded state of mind in their awakening. So what if Chopper being able to master this form is considered part of his awakening in the future? This could just be the first step, and because of this and everything else we just talked about, Chopper is our number 3. Number 2. The Neko no Mi, Model Leopard. Otherwise known as the Cat fruit, Model Leopard. This devil fruit was consumed by Rob Lucci.
Wait, so you're telling me that Rob Lucci isn't number 1?
This devil fruit allows the user to transform into a leopard. Its user gains more physical strength in their hybrid form and full leopard forms, equivalent to that of an actual leopard, and more. Rob's half-leopard form is extremely large because it increases their original height and mass by a great degree. Fighting styles and abilities are also greatly enhanced by the power of the fruit. The powers of the fruit have been used mostly by Rob Lucci for combat purposes and to further fuel his lust for battle. Lucci, unlike other Zoan users so far, has also used the fruit's power in a more beast-like manner, having used his full leopard form in battle to attack Luffy like a real leopard with claws and teeth. While most Zoan devil fruits normally allow 3 forms of transformations under normal circumstances, Lucci is able to access a 4th form. Through life return, Lucci's muscles shrink and compress, granting him a smaller and slightly more human half-leopard form. In this form, Lucci is apparently faster and capable of executing more hits than his normal half-leopard form. And he also becomes a smaller target, especially compared to his normal hybrid form. However, in exchange for this increase of speed, his physical power apparently drastically lowers. Now, a lot of you are probably going to be mad that Rob Lucci is not number 1. But you'll just have to hear me out here. Rob is definitely one of the most powerful Zoans to date, if not the most powerful. Again, we're not talking about mythical and ancients here, so calm down. He was the main antagonist of Water 7 and Enies Lobby, so he had to be at least somewhat powerful. Well, he infuses the strength he gains from his fruit with his normal attacks, which greatly enhance their power. On top of this, he gains claws and fangs, which we have already discussed their usefulness. And on top of all this, there is no definite weakness to counteract him, although he has a rivalry with Dog Zoans. On top of all this, a Leopard can run at speeds up to 36 miles per hour, so he can easily outspeed other Zoans and Devil Fruit users alike. On top of this speed, with his immense strength, he is by far one of the most threatening characters in One Piece, and one of the best Zoan users to date. But he just doesn't cut it when it comes to our number 1, so Rob Lucci runs in at number 2. And the moment you have all been waiting for. Number 1. The Heavy No Mi Model King Cobra. Otherwise known as the Snake Fruit Model King Cobra. This devil fruit was consumed by Boa Marigold. This fruit allows Marigold to transform into a King Cobra. Along with the physical strength gained from their transformation, they gain a long, versatile body that can be used like a real King Cobra, as well as the ability to spit purple venom for long-ranged combat. The hybrid form also allows incredible resistance to heat and fire, and could even use the fire itself to cover the user's body as a weapon. However, the tail of this form can be tied to an object to limit their movement and leaving them vulnerable. Other than that, this fruit so far does not seem to have any specific weakness. The powers of the fruit have been used mostly by Marigold for combat purposes. With her long, hybrid body gained from the fruit's powers, she is capable of striking her opponents at long range, constricting them, and spitting lethal poison. Now you're probably thinking, too spooky. Why in the world is Boa Marigold above Rob Lucci? Like, the fuck, dude? Well, just hear me out here. Along with everything I just stated, let's go over a few of her signature moves. She can spit a deadly purple venom, and if the spit does not hit the target, it starts emitting poisonous smoke that can affect nearby opponents. So if the poison hits, it is without a doubt going to tremendously damage or even cause death. On that note, a bite from an actual King Cobra can lead to death in under 30 minutes, so a Cobra's venom is not to be messed with. She can also set herself on fire, turn her hair into more Medusa-like snakes, like Santo Sonia. So on top of her enormous size, she can easily poison her victims and even constrict and consume them, like Santo Sonia. She can also use her tail as a weapon. Although she has not been seen biting anybody, I would like to imagine that if Boa Marigold were to sink those fangs into somebody, the venom would end their little pathetic life. So the main reason I placed her at number 1 is because of all her abilities and her strength. Poison is something that is very deadly to the vast majority of individuals, and with her ability to both spit and inject directly, there's no escaping. And with her size and force of other attacks, she could be unstoppable, especially if she is paired with Boa Santo Sonia, which is said to be the deadliest combo team ever. On top of all this, she has no known natural weaknesses, and nothing besides her tail that could be used against her in any way. In the end, she is not all about strength, because her other abilities in addition to that were what earned her the title of the number 1 Zoan Devil Fruit in One Piece. But there you have it, everybody. The top 10 Zoan Devil Fruits in One Piece. Hopefully you guys agree with my list, but if you do not, why don't you tell me who you would put where and why in the comment section down below. Also, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, because again, as soon as we hit 3,500 likes, the top 10 Paramecia Devil Fruit video will be coming out. So make sure to like this video, and also make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Because if you do, there is a 0.0034% chance that the banana you grabbed earlier will turn into a Zoan Devil Fruit. And if you're subscribed already, do not worry, because you also have this chance. Also, real quick, I would just like to say that I have a few ideas for some One Piece theories that I would like to make some videos about, and although I would never consider myself a full-time One Piece theorist, or an expert on One Piece, I would like to know if you guys would be cool with me putting out a couple One Piece theories over time. Let me know in the comments. And on the topic of One Piece theories, I would just like to give a little shout out to my friend, Pirate King Buggy. He is a professional One Piece theorist who makes some amazing theories, and he is just overall a really funny and entertaining guy. And it would be awesome if you guys could go over there and show him some love. It would mean a lot to me, and I know it would mean even more to him if you could. And if you cannot get enough too spooky content, why don't you click here for the previous top 10, which was the top 10 Logia Devil Fruits in One Piece. And if you want even more One Piece content, why don't you click here for 10 facts about Nico Robin. But all in all, thank you for watching everybody, and I will see you next time.
Wait, so you're telling me that Rob Lucci isn't number one? Wait, you're telling me that Rob Lucci isn't number one? Wait, so you're telling me that Rob Lucci isn't number one? Wait, so you're telling me that Rob Lucci isn't number one?